fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and skin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone.
Alrighty, Tiger fans, it's Thursday night, the final teams, or the final selection. What did I call this? I think that's final teams. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Bit of a different show tonight, just to be totally upfront and clear that we were meant to be doing behind frenemy lines tonight, but unfortunately the guest coming on did have some urgent personal stuff pop up, which I completely understand. Personal stuff in real life always comes first, as we all know. So I thought instead we'll get Grock on and we'll break down the matchups and the ins and the outs. And we've obviously got North Melbourne happening at the moment with a Deathride. And then we've got a couple of games we can play after, like naming all of the numbers from different Richmond Guernseys over the past 10 years, I think it might be, or 20 years. Footynumbers.com. We'll do a few bits and pieces and we'll just chat footy. But Grock, how are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. I'm glad to be on talking Geelong, as long-time viewers would know. I'll never miss a chance to hang some shit on the Catters. So, no, I'm looking forward to tonight. Yeah,
we couldn't let you miss out on your chance to clip your favourite mob. Now, you live down there, obviously. What's the vibe like at the moment? The Cats are obviously up and about. Are they licking their lips at the prospect of playing us this week, I'm sure, down there?
Yeah, I think they're ready to bounce back after the whole Brisbane debacle and Dangerfield's, the ruining of Danger's 350th. So, yeah, there were quite a few tears after that game. So I'm sure they're ready to bounce back and looking to rectify their form after the buys, because we know that hasn't been great for the Cats. So they're looking to, I reckon they're keen for one.
Oh, no. It's always when teams are bouncing back or needing to respond, we usually cop them. It's horrible. And not to mention the percentage is actually quite important for the teams at the top four currently. So that's not great either. Is this true, Tigers? Have Geelong seriously already made a late change? Is that legitimate? Have they already done something? Because I saw they went in unchanged, but have they already swung a change? Because that was going to form a bit of a segment.
Unless that's a joke about the late change tonight for us, for the behind frenemy lines.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, right. That could be it. It could be it. But having said that, there is probably an element of realism to it. I mean, surely they'll late change again. I think it's been every week, hasn't it?
Oh, they're notorious for doing it. I think there was at one point there a couple of years ago where it was one late change a week for, I think, 13 or 14 weeks, which was insane. So it's just mind games from Chris Scott. Like, if you name a player that's got a niggle, like, why?
Yeah, no idea. But look, hopefully we can spoil his party this week, because I think it's 350 games for Chris Scott, who, there's been a nemesis of ours for quite some time. So hopefully we can spoil a party. But I'm not liking the chances. Oh, Hoops, you're back. Has the wedding taken place, Hoops? If so, congratulations. Hopefully it all went well. We'll bring up the ins and outs, Grock, were interesting. I mean, prior to knowing what the ins and outs were, what were your thoughts on who might have come in? What were your changes? What would have they been?
My changes were probably the ones that we saw, obviously. I think with Lafau and Lynch, that were the two forced changes that we had to take. Yeah. And it was obvious that Sims was going to be one of those coming in just purely from a tall perspective. As much, I think he's now the one that we're banking on ahead of Samson Ryan in the pecking order. Ryan's obviously that known quantity. So is Kazitsky, but Sims is the one that's showing a lot. So he was the automatic inclusion. I think we probably need to go a bit smaller, get some more pace in. So I'm glad that Morris is in as well. And Lawler, the last 5 or 6 weeks that he's been out, it's been clear that we're lacking that polish of delivering the ball inside 50 when we do get it. So it was those three changes make the most sense. And it probably would have been the three that I would have personally selected as well. I know a couple of people are sad with Houghton, but I still think that Houghton is best. You don't want him debuting in Geelong in front of 30,000 Cats fans. Debut him at the MCG against Essendon with 50,000 Richmond fans.
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, I would have loved Houghton. I completely understand why he's not playing, but the kid's going to be a gun. But there are three changes here officially. Lawler, Sims, Morris, Rioli in. Steely Green, Lynch and Lafau out. So Steely Green was the interesting one. We spoke about him a little bit on Monday and probably the last few weeks as a collective supporter base in a lot of ways, that just his output, I don't think Grock has been up to scratch. I think it was 4 disposals last week. It might have been 5 or 6 the week before. I know small forwards can often do the pressure side of things, but it just feels like this has been on the cards for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. As a small forward, you either need to pressure and lock the ball in with the opposition, or you need to hit the scoreboard. And over the last 5 or 6 games, I think the GWS game was really the last game that he was influential in. Over the last 5 or 6 weeks, he hasn't done any of the pressuring. I say he hasn't done it. He has, but it hasn't been effective, and he hasn't hit the scoreboard. So he's essentially just been playing as an ineffectual forward that's not contributing either offensively or defensively effectively enough. And Morris's form in the VFL going through the midfield, he kicked the door down. He was really influential over the last couple of weeks. Just his creativity in the contest, in and around the middle, and on the spread. So yeah, I just think that was the change that made the most sense.
Out of those who are sitting on the bench currently, I mean, I'm just going off the assumption that the sub 9.5 times out of 10 does come from those listed on the bench. Assuming that is to be the case, who would you anticipate being sub?
Against Geelong, of that, I would probably have Sonzi as sub personally. They'll probably go McIntosh, but I reckon his bigger body, I think, against Geelong, who are a pretty physical side, I think he'll offer more over the course of 3 or so quarters than what Sonzi will with the way that Geelong play.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's the first game? This will be the second game if K-Mac was to play sub. So he did 2 before the bye, and then it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. But I can definitely understand why they would maybe consider keeping him on the ground and have a bit of a bigger body out there. And that could also then give scope for maybe Luke Traynor to go back in defence sometimes as well, potentially too, which might be handy. I know a lot of people seem to be happy for him to play at half back. But Maurice Rioli coming in, I'm with you. I'm super pumped about Morris coming in. What I'm nervous about is how we're going to use him, because I think this goes without saying that if we're going to play Maurice Rioli Jr., we cannot just play him in the Steely Green role. You've got to reward the guy and play him in the role that he went back to the VFL and found form in for a month of football and let that develop and grow. Like, I'm looking at his last couple of games. So the game, I mean, I know the Bull Ants aren't the best side in the world, but he had 19 touches against the Bull Ants, 8 tackles, 4 clearances, 1 goal. Against the Bulldogs, who are a good side. I think he copped a knock this game, though. 13 disposals, 7 tackles, 4 clearances. Where's the next one? So, he's been doing some good damage at VFL level in that midfield position. Looking at the Swans game, he had 17 disposals, 2 tackles, 2 marks, 1 goal, 1. So, the disposal count's getting up and up to where you want it to be. I know you probably want to see in the 20s, but that might not be realistically consistent, for him. But it's just the speed and the impact he can have and the chasing ability. I'm just not sure whether we'll do it.
Yeah, I don't think Morris won't be the type of midfielder, if he plays there, that gets the 20 disposals every week. He'll do damage with 15. He's just creative. He's quick. He can hit up some players. He's evasive and can hit the scoreboard. So again, if Morris is in the side and he's going through the middle and he's getting 15 or 16 disposals a week, we're going to be a better side with our midfield balance with him doing that. But I just hope we don't stick him in, as you said, in Steely Green's role in starvation corner, looking at that forward line that we have with, Fall and Sims as our 2 talls, possibly Blight, given the makeup of our back line, will also probably play forward. But the way we move the ball in, Geelong's probably going to have a fair go at picking us off. So unless, we're moving it in quickly and low, putting Morris as a small forward, in starvation corner, he's not going to be effective. It's just going to be like Steely Green again. He's probably only going to have the 5 or 6 disposals if that happens. So
yeah, exactly.
If we're bringing him in, he has to be in around where he makes the most impact. And based on his game, based on the way that he plays the game, that's going to be through the midfield and the contest.
Yeah, and even in general play, I wouldn't mind seeing he and Seth Campbell up around stoppages. Now we've seen Seth up there a little bit, but I mean, Elwood could stay a bit deeper potentially because he's probably a better mark and a better craft of the forward type that he can have a bit more damage down there. And then, Rioli to push up around stoppage. And I would desperately love to see him go through the middle. And look, I know this lineup that we see on the screen in front of us isn't necessarily how we're going to take the field, but on the hypothesis that it is, it's a very, very inexperienced forward line with Ryan Mansell, I think, leading the way on about 60 or 70 odd games, whatever it might be at 20, I think he's really 25 years old or something like that. Everyone else very much inexperienced. For me, we talk about these midfield rotations. With the lack of experience in the forward line, this is the perfect game to then experiment by putting a Hopper or a Taranto at various stages on the half forward line to add that experience and add that class and give them some guidance and support rather than just playing them exclusively in the midfield.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the games where Geelong are very like a midfield grunt until they get it on the outside. They're not super quick. I mean, Bailey Smith has some pace, but they're not out and out quick with the gut runners that a lot of the other sides have. So this is the type of game where you'd expect Hopper and Taranto to at least have somewhat of an influence through the midfield and not get torched going the other way. So I think this is probably a good game where we can rest one of them on the half forward line and hopefully that they can have an impact.
And what do you reckon about the impact that Sam Lawler might have coming back in? He's obviously named up forward. I do feel very much like this game for him is going to look very similar to the North Melbourne game where he had to play as a key forward due to different circumstances. I think it was North Melbourne. Maybe it was a different team. But there was a game where he had to play pretty much 90% up forward. Do we see that happening again given the layoff he's had, or do we still anticipate that he'll get some midfield minutes? I'd love to see him get some CBAs, especially against Max Holmes and a Bailey Smith, who are very, very good players. He might learn a thing or two by going in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with Danger going through the midfield as well, like I do think Lawler will probably play most of the game up forward, obviously coming from that extended layoff. Yeah. I don't think that they'd risk him coming back and putting him straight into the guts. First up, they'll ease him into it. Maybe towards the end of the game, he'll get some midfield minutes once sort of the sting's probably going to be out of the game by that point. And a bit more tired, a few of the players are a bit more tired. It'll be a less physical sort of. I think that's when we'll probably swing him into the midfield. But I'm just expecting him to just compete. I'd like to see him push up a little bit, maybe not into the actual contest itself, but as the outlet and distributor into the forward line, because his class and ball use is exactly what we've missed over the past 7 or 8 weeks that he hasn't been in, because we've been getting the ball inside easily enough. We're getting numbers of inside 50s. It's just the quality, and he's probably the one that you're screaming out for. It's like we want the ball in his hands. So I'm hoping that we see a few more marks inside 50 from our forwards this week with someone coming in that is a decent kick of the footy.
With Lynch out, do you think that there's a possibility that we become less predictable, which may help our forward 50 movements? Because whether it's because of Lynch's age, his lack of mobility, whatever we want to call it, as we've seen for so long, the go-to plan is kick it on his head, and that's where his frustration occurs because he gets triple teamed. We don't have enough support down there with experienced bodies, etc., etc. But do you think, though, with him being out of the side and this makeshift forward line with key forwards that aren't really typically key forwards, could it play in our favour in some capacity?
We almost have to play this like we did in 2017 when it was Jack and the midgets, so to speak. We can't be putting it up in the air with Fall and Sims as our only competing forwards. I mean, Blight, if he plays down there, is the big one. They've got Stewart, who always has always is influential against us with his intercepts. We need to start putting the ball out to space or to ground. We can't play as if Lynch is still parked in the goal square. We've got to try something different. We've got to either kick it to the ground or go more towards the boundary line and knock it over and then force a contest that way. If we just try and kick and mark, Geelong's going to have an absolute field day against us.
It'll be interesting to see what we do because look, I don't think this 4-6 is how we will ultimately start. The way the team kind of reads with Blight on the bench, based on Uze's earlier comments in the year that he doesn't like taking a ruck from defence, it kind of feels like the Blight might be the backup. Well, Sims can back up ruck, I suppose. So maybe Blight will play forward. But at least we know straight away that Blight and Bolter are interchangeable. So if one's forward, one can be in defence and they can mix and match and do whatever they like. But we just need to make sure whichever one of them's down there, because I will honestly be shocked and a little bit scared if we just literally roll out with Lawler, Jonty Fall, and that 6 as the front 6, because they will get decimated by the experienced Geelong backline. So I think in some capacity, we must have a Bolter or a Blight down there. Would you have them try and negate Tom Stewart, or do they have to just try and do their own thing and someone else try and make Tom Stewart accountable? Because he's the key, isn't he? Like, he's the guy who's going to take bulk intercept marks. Blitzars will as well, though, to be fair. Like, they've actually got, and Henry's a strong mark too. They've actually got really good strong marking options down back. But if you had to pick one, and Tom Stewart being kind of the leader of that lot, how do we try and soften the blow of his impact?
Simply just do what Jordan Butts did to Tom Lynch. Get someone on Stewart, be physical, niggle him the whole time. Get dirty. Like, just play dirty ball on Stewart, frustrate the hell out of him. We know Stewart's prone to some brain fades as well. So I think this is where you go to Mansell and you say, I don't care what you do, you're on Stewart the whole game, and your objective is to just scrap with him, just make it an uncomfortable night for him, because Geelong are top 3 for marks and kicks. They love that to retain possession through kicking, and if they're allowed to do that from half back, starting with Stewart, they'll pick it their way through us, like a lot of teams do with the short kicking game plan. So they generate a lot of drive, especially from rebound 50 through Stewart and intercepts. So if we can have someone that's just constantly with him, putting pressure on, body spoiling, that sort of thing, I think that'll go a long way.
Widescreen's thrown a bit of a curveball one. Could Lawler do it? Could he make him... Because Lawler's probably a bit more of an offensive threat that might make him a bit more accountable than what Mansell might be. And he's obviously got the height and the strength, I reckon, to go with him.
I think that could work, but Stewart doesn't really play in a contest. He's usually floating out the back. And I just think at this stage, having Lawler play on Stewart to sort of learn from him sort of puts him in two minds of, do I defend Stewart or do I attack the contest? Whereas I think he's much more of an offensive threat and much more likely to influence on the scoreboard than what Mansell is, where Mansell's designed to be sort of a medium pressure sort of marking style. I think his Mansell translates more defensively onto Stewart than what Lawler will.
Nuclear Day asks, do we reckon, could Nank maybe even rest up forward at various stages? Marley seems to enjoy Nank resting up forward. Calm down, Marley. Jesus.
It's interesting because Stanley loves to push forward out of ruck contests. He taps and then he runs forward. So if we rest Nank forward, then we need someone who's going to be able to go with Stanley, or even Blitzarves when Blitzarves goes through the ruck and does the same thing. So I think this game, Nank probably takes about 90% of the ruck. And if it goes as I expect it will with the midfield, I think Nank's probably going to spend a lot more time down back in the transition than what he will going for. Yeah. Yeah,
okay. It's a pretty deep midfield they've got as well, like Max Holmes, Bailey Smith. I mean, Bailey Smith gets it about 40 times a game. Do we just concede that? Do you just resign yourself to the fact that he's going to get it that many times, and you're trying to limit the impact of the disposal like we do against Cripps?
Yeah, I think you got to let him get he's going to get the ball no matter what. He gut runs all day. He's got a terrific engine. He's got that burst of speed. I think your best bet is to acknowledge that he is going to win the ball, but you just got to make sure he's winning it defensive side of the contest, not offensive side, because if he gets it offensive side, then that speed and that pace comes into it. And he's a decent kicker of the football as well. So if we can get him winning the ball sort of around our centre-half forward position, so their centre-half back in between, the centre circle and there, a lot more than he does get it in their half of the ground, that'll go a long way as well.
And then you look at their forwards. I mean, Jeremy Cameron leading the Coleman, he's obviously a very, very good player. And Patrick Dangerfield is actually a really difficult matchup playing deep forward, just because of his size, his strength. He's obviously a very smart footballer. Who takes Jeremy Cameron out of? I mean, if we're looking at the pages, it says right now Bolter and Miller will be in defence. So if we base it off that, who would go to Cameron? Who would go to Dangerfield? And how is that all going to shuffle around and work?
I think based on the way that Cameron and Neil play, Neil is their second tall target. Bolter is much more likely on Cameron just from an athletic point of view, and Shannon Neal's not super athletic. He's mobile, but he's not a genuine athlete. I think Miller is a better matchup on Neil just from a strength perspective, and Dangerfield, I think Broad takes danger.
Are we comfortable with that? I mean, we don't have much choice, but how do you think Broady matches up in that one?
It'll either be Broad or Vlosten, and I'd much rather Broad. I think Broad's probably a little bit better in a one-on-one sort of role. Vlosten's still good defensively, but we want him for the intercepting as that floating, which is the role that he's built his career on. I'd much rather Broad be more defensively accountable on a player than Vlosten, and allow Vlosten to be the interceptor and distributor.
The other one that worries me when he comes onto the ground is Tyson Stengel, because I really don't think we've got anyone back there with actual speed to keep up with him. Like Broad and Vlosten aren't the same speed they used to be. I suppose Brown might be the best bet, or Sam Banks, but we want Banks to obviously be doing his thing. Or maybe that helps keep Stengel accountable in some way. Sam Banks is running off him and getting link up plays down the ground.
It could be Vlosten on Stengel as the matchup, because Stengel obviously sags off a contest, and so does Vlosten. So I think I think that's probably the matchup where both teams will just back them head to head to play their natural game, and points go to the winner. I don't think Broad on Stengel is a good idea. Blight on Stengel is a good idea. I think Stengel with his Blight's not exactly agile. We'll put it that way. He's got a nice mark and everything, but Stengel with his double and triple leads and cutting, backwards and stuff, he'll catch Blight out regularly if we play Blight on Stengel. I think Vlosten's probably the best matchup we've got.
The forwards are a little bit scary, it must be said. Nuclear's got a question on Trainer. Is the Trainer on the wing just a learning experience, and will he go to the back line next year, or do you see him as a long-term winger? I don't mind him on the wing personally. I like him there.
Yeah, I think we're playing him now on a wing just because we've still got Broad and Vlosten as those intercepting third defenders, and we're grooming Trainer in that role. But I think we've found a role now where it suits his athleticism and pump games into him as well, without sort of wrecking his confidence if he gets caught out by having to be defensively accountable on a player. Plus, his kicking out of defensive 50 was a bit of a worry early on. So if we move him up the ground a little bit, his turnovers won't be as costly. Hopefully, I think that might be a bit of the logic there as well.
Speaking of turnovers, there were some real shit ones last week against the Crows that really killed our own momentum on a turnover. What small things can we tweak in our game plan, or what are you hoping to see to rectify it? Because I reckon we robbed ourselves of about 4 or 5 actual goal-scoring opportunities in games where we struggled to score. They're kind of worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with some of the turnovers, I didn't mind because we tried to bite the bullet and hit some passes, and we just either stuffed the kick or, they read it pretty well. So I don't mind that so much. It's the easier ones where there was no pressure that we miskicked, 15 meters over heads. So I do think if we're going to, start kicking the ball with the way Geelong defend with their intercepts, unless you're 100% sure that you can hit that kick, I think we're better off putting it into space or to the ground and let the smalls come to it. Because once Geelong get possession through a mark, they'll just chip kick and grind us down over the course of 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters, and then they'll absolutely smash us in the last quarter when we're absolutely exhausted and they put the foot down. So I think we just need to just say we're not kicking it straight to you. We're not kicking to a contest for you guys to intercept. We'll put it out to space, dirty ball, chaos ball, whatever you call it. I think that takes away Geelong's one wood as well from defense.
Yeah, they're going to have to mix it up a bit. I'm like you, though. Like, I don't mind if we turn it over while trying to bite off a dangerous pass. You want to see more of it. It's the best way to try and get forward, so you don't mind it too much. Interesting to see what happens there. VFL-wise, obviously really, really good news that Josh Gibcus passed his final fitness test today and will be returning to play limited minutes in the VFL on the weekend. I don't know how many days it's been since he's played, but it feels like an eternity. So he's going to be obviously extraordinarily excited to get back out there playing some type of football. I know we're all going to have tempered expectations and just want him to get through, obviously, but it's going to be exciting. I think there'll be a lot of eyes on our VFL game again with obviously Taj running around. I assume Jaden Short will be out there as well, given he wasn't picked in the seniors. Gibcus will be running around. It's pretty exciting to have those guys out there.
Yeah, and I will say I am so thankful that his return game is actually on an AFL standard oval.
Yeah.
Not the bog at Craigieburn. Like, you don't want anyone playing out there. So, yeah, I'm sort of glad that his return game is actually at a decent ground, as much as, CB and I like to rag on it. It is a nice deck to play on, just purely from the grass and everything. If anyone is down, I strongly recommend that you guys get down to the VFL game and cheer on Taj. He's probably going to play his last VFL game for a while, hopefully, and to obviously welcome back Gibbo.
Hayden, I'm not sure categorically if Jaden Short's playing. It's just my assumption, only because he wasn't picked in the senior side, because I think he had to pass the same test that Gibcus did. I mean, unless he didn't pass it, which no one said yet publicly. But if he did, and I'm guessing he's just playing VFL, which is fine. I get it too. So Gibcus, I mean, based on how the other ACL crew have come back, it kind of feels like it's about that 3 to 4 week mark before they even contemplate doing anything further. I still think there's definitely scope for him to play AFL games before the end of the year, form permitting and fitness permitting. And obviously, they've been very, very they've held him back quite a lot, haven't they, to make sure he's right. So he would have done a lot more extra fitness work than maybe some of the other guys did too.
Yeah, well, I was on record last year saying that the club had, like, with his injuries, they were cotton wooling him. They were taking a super long, cautious approach and weren't going to play him until he was actually cherry ripe, and they weren't concerned that he was going to re-aggravate anything or
well done
inflammation of some of the tendon stuff that he was dealing with. So the fact that they're now playing him means that they've got 100% confidence that his body's going to hold up. And I've heard I heard on Monday that he was booked in for VFL this week, and the same source that told me that the aim is that he's probably going to the aim is to play the last 2 games of the year. Obviously, we played Geelong in the last round at the MCG. From memory, he's definitely going to play that one. It's whether he plays the week before as well.
I would love that. And, I think I've been on record as saying that under normal circumstances, I'm not a huge fan of gifting games, but I truthfully do think that in this particular example, for his mental health and his own belief in his body and whatnot, I actually think it's really important that he does get a game. As long as he's not completely spudding it up at VFL level, that might make it a bit more difficult. But I don't think he will. Like, he's a classy player, right? What was he, a top 10 pick or whatever it might have been? And I took a lot of comfort out of seeing Caesar's training report the other day on Punt Radio, and how he was saying he was seeing Gibcus jump really well, like springing like he was when he was drafted kind of thing. So he's obviously got confidence in his body anyway, as it is right now. But yeah, I'd be very, very keen for him to get a couple of AFL games by the end. Let's say hypothetically, the back 6 stay as it is right now, and we get to that second last game of the season and he's available. How does he slot in? Where do you see him fitting into the side, and what other domino effect changes does that make to our team?
Based on that, it'd probably be I'd almost go Banks to the wing where Trainer is. I'd put Gibcus at half back, and I'd go Trainer as a forward. I think get him used to those.
So you move Banks from half back.
Yeah, but if we're 100% on bringing Gibcus in and starting him on the field, I think that happens. Otherwise, it'll probably be Blight. If Blight has told us, which you'd hope he's by that point, either he's hit the game's trigger for the extension or he's told us that he wants to go back to WA. I think if he has told us, and we'd hope by that point he has given us an indication of what his future will be with us. If it isn't with us, I think that's where Blight comes out and Gibcus comes in, or even McIntosh. It'll be one of those two that he comes in for of those bench players.
Now, I was about to mention this, so Seb has beat me to it. I have always maintained that I can legitimately see Gibcus playing forward as to not, for two reasons. One, not to disrupt the back six that's been fairly stable for the bulk of the year, although at some point he's probably going to go back there when you're broad or you've lost or whatever, retire. But I just think his marking prowess and his aerial threat could be handy up forward. And I know that there's going to be a few people out there that don't like the concept of another defender playing forward, but he did do it early on in his career with us, and he had really good leading patterns and was quite strong in that position. It's going to be fascinating to see how we slot him back in. It's exciting, but it's also, I'm not sure how it all works.
My one counter argument, I mean, I wouldn't mind Gibcus forward, but my one counter argument on that is, given he's missed such an extended period of football, I'd much rather him come in and find confidence in the position that he was drafted in, that he played all of his juniors in, and just
maybe
find confidence
forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Again, I know not a lot of people like that either, but given our current circumstances and situation, we're kind of in a makeshift period. I actually thought Bolter showed a little bit last week when he went forward. I think he plays more instinctively, which I like.
Yeah. But Bolter had a better game defensively against Adelaide than he did against the Bulldogs, which wouldn't have been hard as long as he manned up on a defender. As long as he'd manned up on a player, it was already an improvement. But with Blight and Bolter, I think they're probably on par with each other in terms of defensive ability. Bolter obviously offers us more in terms of the transition out with his kicking and his taking the game on. But I think Blight has shown more as a forward than what Bolter has, especially at AFL level. So on that instance, if it comes down to those two, I'd play Blight as a forward and keep Bolter down back.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. And then, I mean, we haven't even mentioned the prospect of Tash Houghton. I know you did say this could be his last VFL game. Assuming that it does roll out that way, how does he then get slotted in? I think, unfortunately, the obvious one feels like Tyler Sonsie.
It'll be Sonsie or it'll be Mansell. They'll be the two.
I feel like Mansell's a bit held in high regard he's shown some good stuff in pre-season, but his last month of football's actually been quite subpar, really. And to the point where you would probably say that Sonsie's outperformed him in the last couple of weeks, I reckon.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of down to them two. It'll be fascinating to see how Houghton and Gibcus go. So exciting times down at VFL level. All right, well that's the team for the weekend. But I just had a quick check of the AFL score because we're obviously Deathride North Melbourne. They're actually still in it. The Bulldogs are 8 points ahead currently. This is not going as I thought it would, given the amount of outs that the Kangaroos had. How many goals has Larky got now? 5 goals. The dude's on one leg. He's had 7 kicks for 5 goals, 5 marks. It's remarkable that Norton's not been able to shut him down when he can't even run.
Yeah. And consider Norton was drafted as a defender. Like, he was one of the keys of the draft, and he can't shut down a one-legged Nick Larky, who is an absolute gun and makes the most of his chances.
He's a good player.
Like, I wish our forwards had his accuracy in front of goal. It'd make things a lot easier and a lot closer in a lot of the games. But yeah, that's surprising.
Hopefully they can pull away in the last quarter. A few people have asked if you had any doozy updates. I haven't actually checked in with you on any of the names that have been floating around, but has anything come across your desk in relation to updates on whether it's Harley or anybody else?
No, the Harley Reid stuff has cooled off a little bit, especially now that Rails signed off back at the Suns. I always maintained that the Harley Reid stuff to us would cool down if Real signed at the Suns and stayed there. I'm hearing that he's cooled off a little bit and he's likely to stay at West Coast at least beyond this year. Next year is going to be a little bit different. The one that I have heard is Dersma from North Melbourne. We are making inquiries. Obviously, is that half forward, the taller type, who can also go through the midfield. But again, his kicking is a bit of a concern. So
we're going with double Dersma. We're going because we're going to draft his brother as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Other than that, I haven't really heard much else.
I've forgotten the guy's name already, but was it Sheldrick, the Sydney player that we were linked to by, was it Kel Toomey? I think it might have been. I don't really know much about him.
Well, he's been playing in the playing for the Swans at AFL level, and he's been okay. He's averaging like 15 or so possessions or something. Like, it's nothing too out there, too crazy. I haven't heard his name come up. As far as I know, the Swans are desperate to keep him. Yeah, there really hasn't been much in the way of this that I've heard, Mail, in the last few weeks.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, well, there's obviously still a bit to play out. Well, based on us keeping our 2 picks, is there any players that you're liking in the draft that you think we should take?
I think at this stage, Dyson Sharp goes 1. No matter who has pick 1, God forbid we end up with pick 1 if we have a horror end to the season. And obviously our form over the last few weeks hasn't been great, and West Coast have been pretty competitive. So I wouldn't say it's as out there as what we all think that we end up with pick 1. If they end up with pick 2, which I'll be absolutely filthy with, but we know the AFL will manufacture an outcome to
it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. I expect West Coast to go Sharp and CDT. I just think CDT is too like the upside for them. Upside for CDTs is massive, and he's the exact type of player that they're missing, that they need, is that ruck forward. That's the one position that they're struggling with at the moment. So I expect, though, for us, Josh Lindsay is one that I've heard we're still keen on Fred Rodriguez and Noah Hibbins-Hargreaves. Yeah,
okay. That's pace, and Lindsay can kick a ball. So that checks out with what our needs are. Well, the last thing we're going to do, I found something a little bit quirky and unique that we can do. We're going to do a quiz. So we're pretty much going to enlist the help of the audience too, in case we get some of these wrong. But we're pretty much going to be trying to name all the player numbers, Richmond Tigers jumper numbers from 2000 to 2025. We've only got 25 minutes to do it in. So this is going to be interesting to see how many of these that we can nail. It's a pretty broad period of time, but I feel like we might have a wide enough age range of people watching that we might be able to do it. So we'll hit start. Well, actually, let's work out a game plan. Are we going to just try and work through it numerically, or are we just going to shout random shit and type it in? Do we try and be methodical?
I think we'll start on number 9. There's only 2 there, and we know who they're going to be. So we can knock number 9 out almost immediately, and then I think we go in order.
All right, so we'll go 9, then we'll go back to 1. All right, let's go. 25. Oh, so you type it up here. So we've got Trent Cotchin.
Campbell. Can you just do surnames?
I don't know.
So Floston.
Yeah, Rory. Good.
Yeah, that'll save time.
Floston, Newman. Okay, so that's number 2.
Number
Gasper.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Gasper.
No, number 2. So we've got Hopper,
Grimes.
2008 to 11.
Who? Yeah. Oh,
Thursfield. Yeah.
Who was? I thought it was Gasper. Oh, it is. Yeah, I spelled it wrong the first time.
Yeah.
So we've got Prestia,
Deledio,
Callaway, Deledio, number 4, Martin, Rogers will be
Rain.
1.
And Rains.
Yeah, Rains, number 5, Simmons, Ellis,
Ross.
Ross. Oh, who was before Troy Simmons? Tape? No. Who was before 1998 to 2004, number 5. Oh, Ottens. Fred Ottens. Number 6, Mark Chaffee. I'll go old school. Who else has been 6? Grigg.
Yeah.
Who else has been 6?
So 20 to 21. So someone who.
Who's 6 now? Do we have a 6 now? No, we don't.
No. 22 to 20. Naish.
Is Naish? Who had 6 after Naish? We can come, or keep thinking of that. I'll start punching some number 7s. Yeah. Oh, no. Dragosimic.
Mansell.
Nathan. I did Nathan Brown. Goddamn. Who else was mid number 7?
Baker. What was Baker 7?
Yeah, Liam Baker. Matt D. Gee, that's a throwback. Matt D. Good get.
Butler. 7.
There's one more. Oh, for 1 year before Butler.
Was it Dan Rioli before he went to? No, it wasn't.
No, we picked up a couple of Riolis there anyway. All right. Oh, Ben Lennon. Nice. Good get. Well done, Sarah. Nice.
Well done. Number 8.
So we've got Rewald Roach. Oh, Tarrant was the other number 6. There we go. Good work. Well done, Leo. Who else is number 8? Rewald Roach Miranda. Who was after Mark Miranda? Number 8. Number 8, 2001, 2004. Gee, that's a tough one. We'll come back to that. Hughes. No. Number 10. If anyone can think of number 8, let us know. So we've got Shane Edwards, Morris Rioli. Who else has worn the number 10, do we think? Grock? Oh, Daffy. Nick Daffy and Stafford.
Yeah. Number 11, obviously, yeah, Joel Bowden.
Stagner. And who was in between the two? 11.
2012 to 17. It wasn't not Chris. No, Chris Knights wasn't 11. He was gone by 2017.
Jack Batchelor.
Yeah. There it is.
Good work. Well done. So we've got Richardson, Asprey, and Miller.
Yeah.
13. So we go Ralph Smith. Oh, Brad Miller we got by accident because we had Ben Miller because it's the same surname. Yep. Geez, a lot of 13s. No.
Ricky Petted was number 13.
Ricky Petted. Higgins. McMahon.
1 year.
Who else? Someone said Maxfield? No, didn't come up. Who else has been a 13?
Yaron. That's probably a good shout, James.
Yaron, that's a great shout. Well done. Yaron.
2005 to 2007, so pre-McMahon.
Jesus Christ.
Can we just throw names out that we know is going to be on the board? So like McGuan and stuff. Just start throwing them out there.
Yeah, all right. Oh, Pettifer's the other number 8. Okay, and that filled in a 15 too. Good shout. We've got Hilton.
Coughlin, Cousins.
Cousins. Did Yaron even train? Yeah, I don't know. 14, we've got Dean Polo.
Hooley.
Who else has worn 14? Who's wearing 14 now? Is it one of the new kids? 14. Oakley Nichols. Who's wearing 14 currently? Oh, Taranto. Jesus Christ.
TBT.
How good am I going? Oh, well, Hopper. 14. Who's an older 14? No, not big.
So 2000 and 2004. So essentially, who was gone around the same time as Spud?
Robert Powell, good gets, good ush, well done. Yeah, we got Chris Knight.
Chris Knight's 15.
Yeah.
Mav Weller. That's a
great get, Eric. Mav Weller, well done.
Is this just players who've actually played a game, or has it just been that number?
I think just that number.
Okay, well, Ken Kingsley's got to be on this list at some point, I reckon.
Well, I'm not sure.
Jake King was on there, yeah.
Hotton's going to be a 14. Oh, no, he's not a 24. Who's Trainer, Sims, just going through the draftees. Armstrong, Bolton, I'm not sure. Greg Deere. What else we got?
Ben Griffiths is, there's another one.
Good shout, Griffiths. I've got to scroll down a bit, I think. Oh, yeah, Kingsley did come up. There you go, 18. Number 15s, though. What have we got there? And 16s. Oh, what about Ben Holland? Yeah, Fiora, I think we had. Oh, no, we didn't. Aaron Fiora, there we go. Thank you for rounding out the 14s. 15s. Who else was a 15? Oh, yep, Short. He would have ticked off another one too, I think.
Yeah, he would have. 2016, so Short.
Knights would have populated. Blumfield for 13. Well done. Justin Charles. Oh, no, that would have been a little bit too old. Harley Reid. Nice.
Angus. It'll be
Naismith. Troy Taylor. What number was Dean Putt? There we go. Jaden Post. Was he 36 or something?
Andrew Brown.
Brown.
With an E.
Is it?
Yeah.
Todd Elton.
Adam
Noble. Good get. Patterson. Yeah, nice.
Sammy Lloyd.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, good one. Who else was a good player? McBean. William McBean.
Dave Gudis.
Cool. Oh, shit, he spell it.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah.
Well, we already had it in there. Dawkins. Moore. Mitch Farmer. There's another 15. There we go.
Yeah.
Cumberland. Just keep throwing names out. I think that's the way to do it now. Everyone just keep chucking names out there. Garthwaite. Dogs are up by 23 now, which is good. Gale. 16s. We've got Pat Bowden.
We've got Juddy Clark.
Marriage. Oh, yeah, Juddy Clark.
So we've got Marriage, also Soldo.
We've got Simmons. Cracker. Leon Cameron, good get for the 15. Well done. Who had it after him, though, for 1 year? Come on, Jesus. Number 20, Ray Hall. Yes, Ray Hall.
Kazitsky's got it now.
Oh, God, how do I spell that?
Koschithizke.
Nice, Kazitsky. Ben Marsh. Oh, we'll fill the 15s. Well done, Ben Marsh. That's a great get. Vickery, Nason. Who else is there? Like a really obscure player?
How can we get the Barunga Bullet?
Ralton Roberts. of the populace. Lynch.
Jeremy Webberley.
Jeremy Webberley.
Jamie
Brady.
O'Reilly.
Oh my gosh. Turner. Hampson. There's a good shout for 16. Well done.
Luke English.
Everyone on Google AI. Fraser, Tom Soldo, no. Have I missed anyone? Calvin Moore. I think I had him in there. 18. Roden would be there. Oh, no. That's the AN. David Roden.
Snipper. Anthony Miles. Good one.
Miles, yep. Jake King. Connors. Nice. Good get for the 19. Corey Ellis. Oh, they would have come up with the other Ellis.
Oh. Of course, 18. How can we forget the King, Rancy?
Oh yeah, Rance. That's a good one. Tuck, yeah. Geez, how did we forget Ramsey? My goodness. Yep, Kane Johnson for the 17. Nice.
I believe he was the one that started the thing.
Who was 17 before then though?
19.
Broderick, good shout. Shane Morrison. Yeah, Rioli would have already come through. Dan Jackson. Coughlin. Yeah, we did Hawley.
We've already got them, guys.
Oh shit.
So if a player has worn multiple numbers, you just got to save their name and it fills in both numbers. So like
it does both.
Dusty will be 36 and 4.
Craig Bitterscombe. Oh, what a get. What about Nathan Bauer? Who else have we interviewed? I'm sure we've had people on that these numbers are going to be.
Steven Ziller, SZILLER.
Yeah, for number 19. Nice. Morris or Zantuck.
Speaking of the news today.
What do you mean?
Did you not hear that the club reached $1 million settlement with him over injury compensation?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, he's had a legal case against the club for years, and yeah, it was announced today that there was a settlement, 7-figure settlement.
Oh wow! Jeez, there you go.
Yeah, Matty Thomas.
Yeah, we got Arnott, Thomas or Tivendale.
We have
23.
Oh, Nuclear Days, Jesus.
There's a Godzilla. Well done, Townsend. Who's 21 currently?
21.
Oh, Bolter.
Yeah.
Oh, Bolter.
22.
Lambert. Yeah, Premiership player Lambert.
Caddy. Was 22.
Oh, yeah, Caddy. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think we had Oakley Nichols. Yeah, we got him in there.
What's up, guys?
Bolter Tuck, we've got Stengel. Oh, got to click in the box, don't I? Who else have we traded? Drika. 27s. Any other 27s?
Do we have Nathan Gordon?
Yeah, it's a good one. Limback. Jeez, that's a throwback. Sonzi. Yeah, I think I've put in a lot of the ones from this year. Either Dow.
Juddy Clark, I don't think he's on there.
Oh, yeah, Juddy Clark, 23. Yeah, that one come up. Yeah, Hayes Brown, we did. Coulthard.
25, we haven't got Nankervis.
Nankervis, yeah.
26, Jonty Fall.
Jonty Fall. Oh, man, jeez, we couldn't forget him. Fall.
28.
Pickett. Yeah, McAuliffe or... Oh, is he... No.
MCAULIFFE.
Oh, okay.
I noticed you always spell that wrong whenever you put...
Yeah, I've done that for years, then I've never spelled it correctly, ever, and no one's corrected me.
Yeah, Will Martin.
Will Martin.
Luke English another one. Who else
Samson
was
Ryan, yep, good shout.
Stephen Verrier?
Who?
Verrier. Verrier.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Campbell.
Good
Yeah.
get.
Blight.
McIntosh. Good get on Hunt. Campbell Gray. Yeah, Bradkey we got. Tom Brown. Oh, we'll go McIntosh. Do we have a 35 at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to spell the Drew. Yeah, we've got Bradkey.
Daru is, Darou.
Must have already come out.
Oh, is it double R maybe?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Daru. Stack. Oh, Graham, yep.
Both Grahams.
Yes, yeah, that loaded both, which is good. Who else was 33? Oh, we had Knights, didn't we? Knights. Hardigan? Yeah, Brent Hardigan. There we go. What a get. Tambling. Yep, Richard Tambling. Who else have we drafted that's been... what was that? Brad Helbig?
Yeah.
Oh, let's fill up the 32s. That's
Matty McDonough. There's a... Yeah.
Yeah, we had high hopes on him too. Post. Who else was there that we had high hopes on? Trezise. Oh, yeah, 36.
Do we have Jamie O'Reilly, the Irish guy that played for us for like 3 games?
Right.
I think it's O''RIELLY. No, it's okay.
No. It was the other way. I got the other way around. Pittard, we had Pittard as well. Callaway, that should have loaded for that. Yeah, 40. What was Vardy? Who else was a Scott Turner? Oh no, he didn't have one. Yeah, we had Collier Dawkins. 40. Oh, Nathan Foley.
Axel.
Nathan Foley. Just trying to think back through. Fawcett, yeah. Fawcett.
Broad. How have we got 35 for Broad?
Broad. Who else? Oh, Chris Bond. No. I swear he wore. Maybe it was earlier than 98. Scholl, 41. Yeah, well done.
I'm trying to think who wore the 36 after Dusty.
Oh, yeah, Coleman. Yeah, who wore it after Dusty? I don't know. Oh, what about Tim Fleming for 19? Yep, Tim Fleming. Ottens we had. I'm not sure if Lambert. Oh, we already wrote Lambert. Who else wore 29? Do you remember who wore 29?
Carl Peterson.
Carl Peterson. Connors. B.A. Coughlin. Oh, Egg is he Smith?
The egg.
Jesus.
The egg.
That's a great get. Well done.
Our only NGA Academy player. Yeah, Biggie.
Yeah, Newen. Nice. Geez, there's been some great gets. That Sylvester one, that's a good one. Markov's a good one. Ottens we've got, yeah. Bowie did. I'm not sure if I'm missing any other. Do we have a 39 currently? Oh, we do. Who's 39?
21 to 25. So, been on the list for a while.
And we've got Kalina. There we go. 44. Geez, drawing blanks here on some of these numbers. 48 will be Steely Green. Young. Yep, he'll be one as well.
44, Seth Campbell.
Why would it have come up for Wayne Campbell? Must be different.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, Lafau, McKelty.
Is that all of the current players? 49.
Smith.
Yeah. So there's all the current players done. That'd be embarrassing if we missed one.
Yeah, I know. Who else has been 40? We're all the 50s. 51. Who else has been 51? Wow, that's a tough one.
2012.
47s. Any other 45s, 42s?
So we got Bauer.
I think I had him.
He's
Yeah,
obviously we got him. Yeah.
Cody Walker, good one.
We got Caleb Smith, guys. We've got all the current players.
Why isn't that coming up? Maxfield, nah. Any other 22s, 23s? Oh, did we get Jackson? You've got Daniel Jackson.
Chris Hyde, Harrison.
Oh, yeah, Chris Hyde, good one. We didn't have him. Maxfield, I think we've tried. Yeah,
do we have Danny Meyer? Meyer.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Danny Meyer, that's another 22. Who else have we traded? We got Menergy
and McBean.
Menergy. Yeah, got Roden. Tarrant, we got Burke. Yeah, for the other 30. Nice. Austin Jones, 50. Oh, no, that didn't pop up. We've got 2 minutes 50. So it's from 2000 to 2025. 27s. I'm trying to think who else. Derricks. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Tommy Derricks.
Tom Derricks. Lonigan.
Yeah, Sam Lonigan. There's a good pull.
How do I spell it? Have I got that wrong?
Lonigan. You forgot that this first G needs to go after the N.
Yep. Polak. He might have been before it.
He was number 6, wasn't he? I think we filled out number.
We might have got that.
6. Tommy Hislop.
Garthwaite. I think we did Tawny. Yep, nice one. Okay, so we filled out quite a few here.
Yeah. So we've got 2004 and 2005. After Ray Hall for 20.
18. Who else was 18? Jeez, there's going to be some obscure players. Johnson must have been before, or we've already got it. 23. What Daniel Jackson? Minute 20.
Aaron James.
Good one. Yeah. Good get. Aaron James. Any other 24s? We've got Coughlin, Tash Houghton.
Oh, do we have Bill? No, probably a bit early for Billy Nichols. A bit later for Bill Nichols. Mitch Morton, there's the 20.
No, Morton was there.
And so was Bill Nichols. Wow.
Mitch Morton, nice. Steve Morris, I think we got Morris.
Edwards is on
Aaron
there, guys.
Edwards is on there. Who else we got? What other obscure players have we traded? Collins? Andrew Collins? I think we had Chappie. 38 seconds.
We have Cleve Hughes from Cleveland Steelers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Morrison.
Naismith's on there.
Yeah, Naismith.
Ashley Blake. Yeah.
I think that might have been Houlihan. God, good get for the 23. Well done.
I thought someone had mentioned Houlihan. He went through my mind. I thought he'd already been guessed.
10 seconds. That's a good get, though. Yeah, I had Naismith. Marek. Yeah, we had Ivan. I wonder if it fills out the rest of the... Oh, okay, it does. Well, we got 269 and 305. That's not so bad. 88%. So who have we missed? So to fill out the first part's pretty good. Paul Hudson actually had his training top 2. Steinford, I'm pretty sure that's an EJ Relations. That's a bad miss. The Birdman, Brett Evans for number 19. Geez, he was a tough unit for anyone who remembers Brett Evans.
I'm going to give myself a bit of a pass on the older ones. I was like 6 or 7 at the time.
Jay Schultz. I must have typed it wrong. I swear we did. Oh, no. We missed the tripod. Poyas. Yeah, that was a tough one. Clayton Collard.
Alex Gilmore.
Marty McGrath. I kicked a footy with him at work experience when I was doing it at Richmond. Another
John
day was Adam Thompson.
Other Irish one.
I would never have got Haslam. Ron Bottas, Fletcher, Mills, Dean McDonald. Oh, Matt Parker. Jeez.
Someone
Orange
mentioned Matt
Stevenson.
Parker in chat too.
Oh, I've missed it.
Orange
Nahas would have got us
Stephenson,
a couple as well. Travis Castley, Kyle Archibald,
Lionel
Cartledge.
Proctor.
Wow. Ben Haynes. Oh, Reece McKenzie was on the big footy board. Howard. Marcon. We missed the Marcon Lambert connection.
The besties.
Yeah, Jeremy Hum. Brett O'Hanlon, Hicks,
Hicks.
Elroy Gilligan, Tasman Klingon. Gee, what they got some
Benji
names here.
Cody. Does that mean we missed Nick Westhoff too? Yeah, Nick Westhoff. I remember he was the one that I was super keen on way back when.
Wow. Peter Wright, Nick Westhoff. He was the big Maori guy, wasn't he? Peter Wright. He was from the Stingrays.
He was massive.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do too bad. 88% is not, I mean, average score 59%. I know we had obviously a lot of help between a lot of us there chucking names out there, but that's not so bad. Although we did okay. Yeah. Bit of a fun exercise to end on, but I'll
the good old
score again quickly.
Website.
Yeah. But our Bulldogs are up by 30 now with 5 minutes to go. Oh, no, it's counting up. Is it? Yeah, counting up. Very good. That's okay. The Bulldogs seem to be in control now, which is good.
I tipped it by 31.
That's another interesting exercise, Kudush, that how many of those players on that list did we all tag as the next big thing? Too many.
Nothing reaches the fever pitch of McBean. When he debuted, the whole board was unleash the bean, and then 2 weeks later it was flick the bean. Hashtag flick the bean. I think for a little bit
flick
on
the bean. Jaden Post got a fair supporting as well. It was all what was it?
7 games.
That's right. It was some tag. We just kept rolling out week after week.
And I'm glad to see that still going for a lot of like the whipping boys on the board. He just needs 6 or 7 games to prove himself.
Yeah. McBean, imagine Cumberland and Stackley hit their prime. I know, Leo. Yeah. Even David Gordis. Remember how like his physique, he was just an Adonis, and he just didn't get near it.
An athlete over football, style over substance. He was.
Yeah. Corey Ellis, Silk, he arrived and just did not deliver whatsoever. Ben Lennon, who did we take? There was someone that went ahead of him. Oh, excellent! That's great, Cripps.
We took Lennon and Colton took Cripps the pick after.
Wow, I think Ben Lennon actually went to the States to do some punting.
Because it went Duggan, Lennon, Cripps. They were the 3 that were consecutive. I'm not sure which order it was. It might have been Cripps, then Lennon, then Duggan.
Gee, either way you look at it, we didn't do too well there.
Menagerie was super hyped compared to a young Fife.
Yeah,
all the Fife comparisons.
Collier Dawkins, he was going to be the next Messiah in the midfield and just didn't put on size. Tambling, I felt bad for Tambling a little bit.
Yeah, as far as I know, Menagerie was playing. Last I heard, he was playing down here for Port Arlington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the Ballerine Football League.
Might as well have drafted John Lennon. Matt Arnott, he was a big unit too. He was huge.
Mustang.
Just a cannonball. Absolute cannonball. Oh, dear. Yeah I think Dusty, I had Arnott as Dusty 2.0. I think a few people thought he might bust a few packs open. But, that was a fun exercise. I'll see what other quizzes there are in the future, something a little bit different. But, that'll be a wrap for tonight. Good to talk about the team for the weekend. Obviously, plenty to see how that plays out. The Bulldogs getting the job done for the Deathride, which is nice. And, hopefully, I mean, what's your prediction and margin for the Geelong game? How do you think we're going to go? What's a passable effort?
See, I think for us, playing on the narrower ground will make it a little bit easier for us with transition and run. Geelong don't run the ball as well. I think they're 18th for handball, so they don't play on quickly with handballs, which I think will give us a little bit of a chance. But I do expect them to get a hold of us. I don't think we're going to trouble them on the scoreboard just based on the makeup of our forward line. So based on that, I reckon Cats, if we can keep it under, I'd hate to say it, 50 points, I'd take it. But with our form and the way Geelong are playing coming off the Brisbane loss, I think they're going to come out on fire and put us to the sword.
Yeah, it could get ugly. But as long as they have a crack for 4 quarters, they're just going to play with freedom. They've got to just not care so much and just have a go and try things and see what happens from it. But
Yeah.
we'll see how we go. Otherwise, we've got the VFL on the Sunday as well. So I think I'll be doing a live show on the Sunday for the VFL if anyone wants to watch along. And if you're free, Grock, feel free to jump on as well. Which would be good to watch
I didn't get a ticket to the actual AFL Geelong game, so I might actually just go down and watch the VFL if I can.
We can live cross to Grock at the VFL and give us the updates. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you all enjoyed a bit of fun with the game. I might try and do a few more of those things. We can try and find some quizzes. Maybe we can have like viewers versus the Tigercast crew or something. We'll find a way to maybe incorporate that one way or another.
Maybe try and do a Kahoot quiz so that way we can put the code on and people can actually join and get involved individually on their devices.
Well, I've always struggled to operate Kahoot. It's always been a pain in the ass, but I'll revisit that and see if we can get that working. But
I can test it out because I do it all the time at work with participants.
Okay.
And get quizzes up. So I'll see if I can create one and then I'll flick it over and see if we can test it and see if that works. Right. And then go from there.
Sounds good. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight and enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend. And fingers crossed we get a okay result on Saturday and Sunday. So until next time, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.